Due to COVID, NBA rosters have never had to be deeper, as replacement players from the G League and former stars like Isaiah Thomas, DeMarcus Cousins, and Joe Johnson have actually played minutes this season for contending teams. In one NBA franchise's controversial history, however, this is nothing new. Being a member of the New Orleans Pelicans at one time was more dangerous than coronavirus, and many careers might have been ruined because of it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it. If we rewind a little bit, coming into the 2015-2016 NBA season, the New Orleans Pelicans were fresh off a playoff appearance as the 8th seed in the Western Conference after going 45-37 the season prior, with the appearance seeming to be a stepping stone for the team in their ascent. They had three dynamic guards in Jrue Holiday, Eric Gordon, and Tyrique Evans, supporting a young star in Anthony Davis. Looking to build upon past success, one crucial factor working against the Pelicans' continued growth and development was injuries. Damn near every single player who the Pelicans relied upon for making a playoff appearance the previous season would go down with an injury the following year. Their troubles started in the lead up to the season over the summer. Jrue Holiday, who had previously had surgery to install a rod in his lower leg, in order to correct a stress fracture, mind you, was working to make a full return to the court after managing nagging pain the previous season. Similarly, Tyrique Evans had off-season surgery in the summer of 2015 to remove loose particles in his right knee. Lastly, big defensive wing Quincy Pondexter also had off-season surgery to repair cartilage in his right knee. This season would start, and this battered team would quickly break down. It started when Omer Sheet on October 8th was ruled out due to a right calf strain and missed 14 games. On November 6th, Kendrick Perkins was ruled out for 3 months with a right pectoral injury. Tyrique Evans had a return from off-season knee surgery on December 1st. However, he only played in 27 games before he was ruled out for the season on February 11th. The reason why? After his injury was practically mismanaged, he had to have another surgery to remove more debris from around his knee. Eric Gordon would suffer a broken bone in his shooting hand on January 19th. They would do a surgery and rule him out for 4 to 6 weeks. And then when he came back in the 27th of February after missing 16 games, he would eventually be ruled out for the rest of the season on March 5th when he broke that hand again. This kind of negligence is just bizarre. This kicked off a month to forget for the New Orleans Pelicans. Anthony Davis would have his season ended with a torn labrum in his shoulder and a left knee injury on March 20th. Davis would say he had actually played through much of the season with shoulder pain. Fellow big man Ryan Anderson missed the final 14 games of the season due to a sports hernia he was diagnosed with in late March. In the last week of March, the Pelicans also lost Alonzo G to a ruptured quad and ruled him out for the final 9 games of the season. They also lost Jrue Holiday, who spent various times out managing his leg injury, to a facial fracture when he broke his right orbital bone on March 28th. He would miss a total of 17 games on the season overall. And we cannot forget Quincy Pondexter, who had repaired his cartilage in his right knee to an extent. He was actually ruled out for the entire season due to constant knee swelling. He said his injury was so mismanaged that when he was ruled out, he had to undergo another surgery, so he didn't even play the whole year. All these injuries kind of broke the logistics of being an NBA team. And many years before COVID, the Pelicans demonstrated struggles many teams are experiencing right now. They had to give major minutes to bench players. Guys like Luke Babbitt, Dante Cunningham, and Alexis Agencia found themselves getting major minutes in the middle and the end of the season. The Pelicans also had to use multiple hardship exceptions just to get through the season. At one point, they had to bring their player pool from 15 up to 18 just to have enough healthy players to attempt to be competitive. They dabbled in signing former NBA players, with Jimmer Fredette signing from the G League using a hardship exception. They turned over to lesser known players as well, like Orlando Johnson, Jordan Hamilton, and Tim Frazier, who at that point were all G Leaguers. They even ended up giving a long-term contract to a young man named Bryce DeJean-Jones during the season for his stellar play. He was another player added from the G League, but only a week after signing the contract, he fractured his wrist in late February and also missed the rest of the season. What's sad is this was at the time where it was almost normal for the New Orleans Pelicans to demonstrate significant injury bad luck every year. Entering the season, the Pelicans' recent history had the unfortunate circumstance of going 5 straight years with an above league average number of games missed to injury. And for the 2015-2016 season, they would lead the league losing about 349 games due to injuries and illnesses, having to employ 21 players over the course of the season, and 41 different starting lineups over the course of the season. A big reason the Pelicans had such bad injury luck, however, could be traced to the medical staff. The owner of the Pelicans at the time was Tom Benson, who before he died also owned the New Orleans Saints, and he employed a medical staff entirely made up of individuals from football training rooms only, most of whom, but not all, came over from his NFL team. In an article I found, the Pelicans did not employ a department head for their medical staff or a head of sports science, and overall was considered light years behind other teams in terms of medical issues at the time. For reference, with injuries and COVID, only the 2020-2021 Orlando Magic had players miss more games in a season due to health reasons since 2015. Further, in 2020-2021, roughly 4,100 games were missed due to injury, and 1,218 games were missed due to health and safety protocols, meaning the average team only lost 136 games due to injury and 40 games due to COVID. Compared to the 2015-2016 Pelicans, the average team would have had to lose 80 games due to regular injuries, then lose players to COVID basically 7 times the average to catch up to the Pelicans' abysmal year of injuries. If you're wondering how things went on the court, nothing that season went well. The Pelicans placed 12th in the Western Conference and they only won 30 games. Even the fans were pissed because the Pelicans that season had a bottom 10 attendance for the whole year. Long term, the Pelicans' health staff may have actually ruined players' careers. We know that Anthony Davis would leave the Pelicans, but it seems like his body has become fragile, as every year he seems to miss time, and much of the time, it's injuries due to his knee, reminiscent to the same injuries he had with the New Orleans Pelicans. Jrue Holiday ultimately took time away from the game to tend to his wife's brain cancer, and only then did he finally stop having issues with his surgically repaired shin bone. Quincy Pondexter was injured for the rest of his career. With the Pelicans, he ended up missing another season the following year in 2016 and 2017, and he had to have a third knee surgery, but this time it was almost life-threatening. He actually caught an infection during the surgery and nearly died. The next time he would play was with the Bulls on October 19, 2017, 2 years and 4 months removed from the first surgery. He would be waived during the season and basically never achieve a role on an NBA team again after that first knee surgery. Similarly, the quad rupture for Alonzo G was devastating. It led to him never getting a full contract again in the NBA, and he only has played on 10-day contracts, and he only got one with the Denver Nuggets, and then he was bouncing around the G League in Europe. Omer Sheik would come down with the illness that caused him to lose 30 pounds while he was a member of the New Orleans Pelicans, and he only played 45 more games with this team over 2 seasons. He was traded to Chicago, where he only played 4 games before he was diagnosed with inflammatory arthritis, which was considered career-ending. Tyrique Evans himself wouldn't play more than 60 games over the next 2 seasons, but while he was getting back to ascending, he was bounced from the league and suspended for violations of the league drug policy, which was possibly triggered by abusing prescription painkillers that he would have been prescribed as a result of his knee surgeries. For about 3 seasons, he's actually been out of the league now. Ultimately, it's a sad story for everyone involved, but for the New Orleans Pelicans as an organization, things changed when Dell Demps was fired, and the training staff that he had was entirely replaced. But in that period, star player for the franchise Anthony Davis continued to rack up a long injury history. Anthony Davis, of course, was ultimately traded from the Pelicans, however, but the team might have remained cursed in the injury department. It's hard to attribute the shortcomings, however, to the football training staff, which was as dangerous as COVID. But now it's on the Pelicans management, staff, and players to help players thrive for seasons to come. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe. Here's 2 more videos to enjoy. Thank you for watching.